Hey guys, it's Mace1370. Start off by pre-banning ML Tywin. He's a monster. I won't have him. Unfortunately, I did lose a couple placement matches, so I started off in silver, but that's okay, I'll climb back up. The opponent first picks Arbiter Vildred here, who can actually be a pretty flexible first pick since he can fit into cleave teams or into bruiser teams. In Guild Wars, we're seeing him build tanky on a counter set, which is really interesting. Haven't run into that in RTA yet. I grab Remnant Violet because he has evasion and RB has a lot of AoE, so that'll give Remnant Violet stacks. And then I also take ML Haste as an Arbiter Vildred counter. You don't always have to pick him that early, but in this case, since I wasn't sure what direction my opponent was going and I knew I would be committing a pick to ML Haste either way probably, I just decided to do it early. And my opponent surprised me here with a Falconer Clary and a Alencia pick. And looking back on it now, I mean, an Alencia pick really forecasts that he's doing some sort of bruiser team. For some reason I was really afraid of the opponent switching to a cleave team. I don't think I should have been afraid in hindsight. I picked Adventurer Ras, who I still think is a good pick in this situation since he's opposite element for Alencia and for Falconer Clary. He's also a great knight. He brings Aureus, and he'll also be able to use his S2 and pull Remnant Violet in for more damage, and give Remnant Violet more stacks. And now for this pick, I'm not really sure what to take. And I think I was still kind of afraid of a cleave, as I mentioned, and I went with a FCC here, and I'm just not sure if that's really the best pick. I don't think this was my best draft. The opponent takes Seaside Bologna and Dain. So they have a full bruiser comp. I'm thinking I'm probably going to ban the Falconer Clary, and now I'm trying to decide what to pick next. I want a DPS since I have 3 supports and 1 DPS, so I take ML Ken because he counters Arbiter Vildred, who I'm going to leave in the draft, anticipating that Haste will get banned, which happens. And I feel like I put myself a bit in a pickle here since Dain and Seaside Bologna and Alencia, those are all great heroes, really late into the game. And I don't have a ton of sustain. Remnant Violet is on lifesteal, and I get my FCC barrier. And then of course ML Ken has Sigurd, but I don't have a dedicated Soul Weaver like Riolet or something like that. So I get my defense buff up, the opponent buffs up his team.
Grant me the power to extinguish the evil. This is only a temporary alliance.
I go ahead and just use FCC's S3. It's going to absorb the Seaside Bologna S2. And I want to get that triggered while a lot of my team has immunity to prevent getting Death Broken. Luckily it doesn't land on Ras, which is really clutch for me. And then ML Ken really delivers and crits Arbiter Vildred through the anti-crit buff, killing him for the first time. Lots of debuffs on my FCC. So here I'm just trying to take out Arbiter Vildred early, since he's high damage, and my team does not have a lot of sustain. So we get him down pretty fast, which is good. Alencia comes in here and does her strip. And of course she strips Violet, because why wouldn't she? This is just the theme of my life. I think a lot of Remnant Violet players are getting really frustrated with how often, things seem to land. And that's why I run him on a, higher defense lifesteal build. If you have him on a super fast, high damage build, something like this just comes in and he just gets one shot and doesn't do anything. That said, this was the perfect setup for the opponent because the opponent gets to use Seaside Bologna here and just wipe my whole team out effectively. Remnant Violet is dead on the water, having Death Break, no heal, and immunity. I go in and soulburn my ML Ken just to try to do as much damage as I can. And luckily the Remnant Violet will get one attack here before he goes down. So I'm just going all in on Seaside Bologna. Thankfully I crit, but she doesn't go down. So my Remnant Violet is toast. I think that was a little lucky for me, having Alencia's S2 go into Ken, since the opponent's probably not going to want to attack Ken at all until FCC is dead. So he's going to focus FCC now. And if the S2 had gone into FCC, she would be that much closer to dying. She's already hanging on for dear life here. The opponent's soul burns to cycle his Diane more and keep his team alive.
I think it'll end soon.
And again, I'm just going on the Seaside Bologna. I missed the crit here, but she still goes down. So now it's 2-on-2. And hopefully I'm just trying to get this Diane dead. I don't want to hit Alencia because it'll give her Mind's Eye, and that'll just massively increase her damage output. This is a pretty thick Alencia, 23k. That's kind of the sweet spot that I found in terms of balancing her other stats.
My goddess. Don't put all your faith in me.
I hate boring fights.
I send both my heroes into Diane again to try to kill her.
Shall we go to the land steeped in death?
And here I'm debating about soul burning for the skill null to try and increase my survivability. I decided to go ahead and provoke the Diane just to try to keep her locked down. I should have checked to see what her cooldowns were, though. I think it's still the right decision to, prevent the buffs, but here I switched tactics and used skill null, and I wish I had checked the skills to see, because I think this might have been a misplay, because it also gives Alencia Mind's Eye. And if I had taunted the Diane here, it might have prevented her from using either her S2 or her S3. And yeah, her S3 is back up, so I think I definitely should have taunted there.
I don't fight weaklings.
Although it does have left me with a skill null and ML Ken. And Frenzy's really ratcheting up here, so you can see how much damage that Diane is taking.
This is only a temporary
But she's built very speedy. She's cycling quite fast. And my ML Ken is so slow, so I'm not really able to kill her right now.
Fight me!
Get a counterattack from the ML Ken here.
Shall we
FCC still holding on.
steeped in death?
And that's going to take out my Fallen Cecilia, so now I have my S3. And I go for the S3 here because I just want to do max damage and I risk the Mind's Eye. Alencia gets it, unfortunately, and he burns. Gets the Death Break, and I counter before he gets his second and finish off the match. So this was super close. And I learned something. If Alencia does her S1 into 2 combo on Ken, then Ken will counter in between and cut, which is good to know. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Later.